Hello and welcome. We are pleased at the Carbon Lehigh Intermediate Unit to recognize all of our ESL staff members and educators each month. And this month, selected as our Educator Month for the month of January, is somebody that I know has done a lot for our ESL population. So I'd like to welcome Katie Gill to our program today.
Good morning, Kristen, and thank you for the acknowledgement. It's very kind and appreciated.
And I know firsthand from seeing you in action, you do a lot to advocate for all of our ESL students. So thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about your experience. How many years have you had in education?
I'm going to say 35 plus. I've had an amazing journey in the Allentown School District. I started as the ESL non-public teacher. Many years ago, I was assigned to Sacred Heart School in Allentown because at that time they had a significant number of L's and they qualified for Title I services. I then worked at Jefferson Elementary School for 3 years. I was out for sort of an extended maternity leave because I have 4 children. And when I went back to ASD, I was an ESL kindergarten teacher at our then early childhood center, Midway Manor, on the east side of Allentown. I then went downtown to become one of the first ESL facilitators in the district. And then I worked in the grants department, handling large grants like EAP and DCED and making sure that L's got some of the money for supporting programs. And then I became the director of ESL and World Languages for the district and the principal of the Secondary Newcomer Academy. And after Hurricane Maria, we opened an elementary newcomer academy. So I'm the principal at both newcomer academies.
Wow, you've done a lot of work in the Allentown School District. That is wonderful. So what is your favorite thing about working for the Allentown School District?
My favorite thing about ASD is our diversity of cultures and languages. ASD supports students from, I believe it's 69 countries who speak 49 different languages. Financially, we are a poor inner city school district, but we are enriched by our diversity.
Definitely do a lot of serving for that community, and it is great that under your leadership you've opened those newcomer academies and helped lead that. But I bet you also have some hidden talents that you practice on the side. Do you have any of those?
Yes, I was a singer and a dancer in another life. I'm from Western New York originally, and I was recruited to DeSales University as a theater and speech major. But after about 1.5 years, my delusions of grandeur of making it on the Broadway stage faded, and I decided I better get into something where I could get a job when I graduated. And fortunately for me, I come from a long line of educators. So education was just the right path for me. And everything I learned in theater and speech served me well as a teacher because we know that educators are frustrated performers.
We are performing all the time, aren't we?
Definitely.
So what was your inspiration to become an educator?
My parents definitely inspired me. My mom was a special education teacher, and when she retired, she became an adjunct professor at a local college in Buffalo, and she taught and supervised student teachers. My dad, after returning from World War II, while going to law school, taught English to returning GIs who had lied about their age and dropped out of high school so they could join the military during World War II. And in my family, being an educator was always considered a vocation or a calling, not an occupation.
It definitely is a calling, and you could see that by the heart that you put into everything that you do for the students in Allentown. So thank you. So how does technology impact our L's?
Well, technology can be a powerful resource for L's. to help them access comprehensible input and information from a variety of sources. For example, anchor videos, maps, charts, Google Images, translation sites, bilingual dictionaries, dramatizations, demonstrations, all those YouTube demonstration videos, interactive websites, research, virtual libraries, animated texts, audiobooks, blogs, narrations, and tutorials. But it is also challenging for ELs if they lack devices, don't have Wi-Fi access, or have keyboarding skills. During COVID, the Allentown School District has been able to provide every student with a Chromebook, which was wonderful because we were not a one-to-one student device ratio district prior to COVID. But many of our families didn't have Wi-Fi access. Through numerous contributions from the ASD Foundation, the Century Fund, and others, we were able to purchase hotspots to give to families who needed them. Not per student, but in households. And that's been wonderful. However, it's very challenging for second language learners for a number of reasons. They live in close quarters, in an apartment or a row home, where all the kids are sitting in the same room trying to get their work done. They don't necessarily have their own bedroom and their own desk where they can just go and sit down and complete their work. So imagine the family that has a kindergartner, a 5th grader, an 8th grader, and a high school student who each have a Chromebook, but now they're all logging on at the same time to their Zoom for their synchronous sessions, all logging on to their instructional platform. In Allentown, we use Accelerate for elementary, and we use Edgenuity for second, middle, and high school. So imagine them all trying to do it at the same time. They might not have the bandwidth to support 4 devices on 4 different platforms at the same time. Or there's family in the background, you know, babies, noise, chaos. It is not an ideal environment. We also have situations where children are at daycare centers. Some of the daycares are very cooperative and they help the kids go online and do their work. Not all. They may be in the care of a neighbor or a relative who, maybe grandma, you know, who doesn't speak English and has no technological background, no experience with online platforms, and is not able to help them. So there are many factors that contribute to challenges for our ELs with technology. And even understanding how to navigate an online platform or to toggle back and forth from a teacher's Google Classroom to Lexia, Dreambox, Edgenuity, Accelerate. It can be very challenging.
There definitely are some challenges with technology, but I've heard firsthand from your team about how proactive they've been to try to visit some of the homes and even do tech visits from the porch. So I know that you are doing everything in your power to help navigate these unprecedented times. So thank you.
They have been. You're absolutely right. We are blessed that we have a very dedicated group of teachers who go the extra mile above and beyond to help their students and their families.
We had the privilege of networking with some of them here at the IU, and they are all want to hear and learn from you in the month of January. So what is something that you would pass on? What piece of wisdom would you give our ESL peers?
Well, I think probably the one thing I would like everybody to take away from this is to promote ELs with an asset-based mindset instead of a deficit-based mindset. Our ELs can make significant contributions to any classroom. For example, in a science class, they can share experiences in different biomes than the average student who's born and raised in Pennsylvania. Our L's have lived on tropical islands, in desert climates, on mountains, in jungles, in rainforests. Math teachers often struggle to teach students mastery on the metric system. Our L's arrive here already knowing the metric system. In social studies classes, native Pennsylvania students think of the American Civil War as an abstract concept. Our refugee students can share powerful real-life experiences in a discussion because they have witnessed and survived Civil War in their native country. So when L's share different languages and cultures, food, music, and traditions, they enrich the educational experience for everyone.
They definitely do. And it sounds like what you're passing on is definitely what the WIDA model is asking us to do too. We want to look at those students and see what they really can do. And I think having that philosophy is just evident in everything that you've expressed today and how you just pour your entire vocation for the last 35 years into our ESL population. So Katie, thank you so much for all that you've done, and congratulations on being our January Educator of the Month.
Thank you, Kristen. It's my pleasure.